Sometimes you hear me make the statement of going from bad to worse. And you know, the one reason why I make a lot of these videos, especially videos that have to do with our homestead, our community, you know, my particular lifestyle, is to bring an inspiration among you as a people. Now, I understand that we live in a world that is lacking greatly in love. And the reason why we're lacking greatly in love is because some of you were not raised by mothers that loved you. And chances are, if you was raised by a mother that did not love you, chances are she either was not loved or either she felt like she wasn't loved. Because mothers are the first line teachers to children. And if you're full of bitterness and pain, resentment, if you are reserved and you're afraid of giving love, afraid of receiving love, you're going to pass that on to your children. Whatever nature you have as a mother, you're going to pass it on to your children. And those children are going to grow up to be adults one day, and then they're going to continue to keep perpetuating this particular attitude and this particular spirit. It's a sad situation. And I just don't understand why people have so many challenges. I can understand because, I mean, I lived in different environments growing up myself. And I use my own mind. I could sit back and play victim to a lot of things. I could just throw in the towel and have a base nature with base feelings, but I choose not to do that. You know, one thing for sure, to do what I'm doing is going to take love. No doubt about it. It really, truly is going to take love. And I'm not talking about this junk that you talk about when honey dripping off the edge of your lips. I'm talking about real, true love. But anyway, you know, I make chicken butchering videos. I try to let you in on Homestead and let you know that it is possible. You are more than capable of doing this. Well, anyway, I had an article sent to me from an anonymous listener. And you know, the fact is pretty strange. But your marvelous FDA, that's the reason why I keep asking you, how long do you think you can continue to keep trying to trust in these government institutions when they say FDA approved? What the hell does that mean? Who cares if FDA approved, and who made them the power and authority for you to be able to make choices and decisions in your life? World Health Organization. You mean as sick as this world is getting, you're going to trust in these entities? I mean, think about it. I mean, do you believe that you can live life without the government having some type of intrusion into your life? It seems like every time you turn around, they got a foot in every aspect of it, and then they pass laws to make sure that they maintain a foot in your life. But I submit to you, speaking from an alternate consciousness here, I submit to you that you could probably do life without a lot of governing from the government. Matter of fact, I think you could probably even live a more healthy and quality life. But I do know this. Most people are not going to do it. You know, living in the cities is easy. I've been there, done it, lived there many years. And the reason being is because everything is there. It's a convenience. You just pop 1 or 2 miles, you everywhere. 5 miles, you everywhere. If we have to run to town, and it's a very small town at that, because we live in a very rural community, we live 13 miles from town. And then the next town, if you want to call it, about the size of a province that you're usually used to, that's in between 45 and 65 miles. And then to get to Nashville, 75 miles. So we're talking about big city. But I know what they've done to us as a people, especially to our minds and our conscience, because they have made us subservient. They have made us totally dependent upon the system, because we are a nation of crybabies. And we are a people that have an attitude that we simply just do not want to do anything with our hands. We want everything handed out to us. I'll give you an example. Where would most of you be at today if the government didn't give you some form of welfare or government subsidiaries? Do you think you could survive? Could you survive on your own? Now, I know that many of you would say that you could, but if you didn't have those government checks coming in, you couldn't survive. You couldn't survive on your own because you made wrong choices and decisions in your life. You didn't invest in you. Now, I'm not making this video here to get you upset at me. I'm trying to stimulate thought in order to motivate you, to get you to change your mind. But yet and still, I can't do it. But this video right here is about this. And remind you, I have a lot of people who are just, they troll me. They're just literally envious of my lifestyle. They're jealous of me as a man. Why? I don't know. Maybe they have personal challenges or whatever. I don't know. I don't understand, since I live my life trying to inspire men to become even greater men, that they may raise children and love their wives, that they may even become a greater family, so we can build a nation that will keep the laws and statutes and commandments of the Most High. That's my contribution to society, simply because I understand what the King has done for me. And I'm talking about Yahshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ, Almighty Yahweh himself in the flesh. Now, let me go on. Check this out. FDA finally admits chicken meat contains cancer-causing arsenic. So that means your KFC, or the stuff that you eat at these processing plants, you know, when you go and pick up your Tyson's or whatever other chickens and stuff that they have in there. Arsenic now. Can you imagine cancer? Now, FDA actually admits it, finally admits it. October 19th, October Health right here. Listen to this. The FDA spent years trying to sweep the issue under the rug. Now, we have to ask ourselves, first and foremost, number one, why would the FDA have to spend years trying to sweep this issue under the rug in the first place? I mean, chicken is diverse. I mean, chicken is one of the main staples of the American diet. And can you imagine that our country would actually pass laws to help out the big major corporations to poison us and kill us? Because it's about big business, about upselling. I told you, death by the spoon. If I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. I'm going to tell you right now, to raise your own chicken, you're going to be out a lot of labor, a lot of time. It's going to cost you inconvenience. And then you have to kill it, butcher it, process it, freeze it, store it, and then cook it. That's a great labor. I mean, the lazy, lethargic, apathetic, complacent spirit of Americans has gone to the zenith. It's a whole lot more easier just to go to the store and pick it up, put it in your buggy, and walk out smiling, thinking you've done something. You say you love your family. That's what you say you do. But yet and still, you know just as well as I do, it's amazing how that all of a sudden, all these things that I talk about, and I got a lot of digressions going on here. It's amazing how that people accuse me of being a conspiracy theorist. And is that remarkable? But then what do you do when this so-called conspiracy theories that I allegedly come up with becomes fact? I tell you what you do. Many of you just crawl back in your pathetic little hole, won't change nothing, but you will suffer at the hands of the system you trust. That's the reason why you need to change your mind. You got to ask yourself, why come your preachers, your teachers in these camps, these assemblies, these churches, why aren't they warning you about the thing which is greatly important to all of us in this life, which is your health? I mean, after all, the scripture says, beloved, I wish above all things that thou prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prosper. If you sick in body, you're going to be sick in mind. That's just a fact. But anyway, I'm going to try to make it through this article here. I'm sure I'm going to interject here for the time being, but I'm trying to get you to see something. You cannot trust in any government institution whatsoever at all. They are not for you. They are against you. And the word government itself by nature, especially when it has to do with the state, is evil. The FDA spent years trying to sweep the issue under the rug, hoping that no one would go deeper in the subject. However, it finally admitted that the chicken sold throughout the United States contains arsenic, known as a toxic chemical that causes cancer, and it is fatal in high doses. What is even more horrific is the story which contains, how does the chemical end up in the chicken? Chickens are fed with purpose. Look, chickens are fed with purposely. Look at this. it actually added to their feed. Y'all hear that? It's actually added to their feed. Elder Doug, he goes through great lengths. I mean, great lengths to do due diligence and investigation. And it's getting tough. It is really, truly getting tough to find feed for the chicken that you and I eat that does not contain a lot of these chemicals and pesticides and herbicides and whatever you want to call it. Because, I mean, we have to literally drive hours away just in order to pick up. And when we do, we make sure we pick up like a ton of feed at a time. A ton. Or either half a ton. We make sure we get a lot. And I'm telling you, it costs us a whole lot more to raise one meat bird than it does if you go to the store. As a matter of fact, you could probably buy 4 or 5 of those birds in the store compared to one bird what we raise. The difference is I care about our people. I care extremely about our health, our welfare, and our being. Most people say they do, but they really truly don't. And not only that, even when we butcher chickens, we send chickens to the families that live close by with us. We here, take 1 or 2, take what you need, get some here. Because they have little children that are growing up. Some of the most beautiful children you ever seen in your life. Let me go on. As it is not enough, the FDA confirmed that its own research showed that the arsenic in the chicken really ends up in the meat that is later consumed by people. To be more precise, for the last 60 years, the Americans who consume conventional chicken have actually been consuming this cancer-causing chemicals. For the last 60 years? I mean, we have to ask ourselves, why even put it in there in the first place, and what purpose does it serve? I'll tell you what it serves. The thief cometh not but to steal, kill, and to destroy. So you mean to tell me that the majority of cancer cases in this country, which I've been telling you over and over again, it comes by environment, food, toxics. Which, when people had homesteads years ago, I mean, you don't hear all this cancer stuff going on communities, little small communities that choose to live a separated life like mine. But yet and still, most of you people are conditioned. I mean, literally conditioned. You are conditioned to have an evil eye and slant eye against me because you've been conditioned very well by that one-eyed monster called that TV set. And then when you get cancer, the first thing you do is you go to the very system that gave you cancer in order to look for relief. And it's okay, for some reason, some way, somehow, it's okay for you to go to the hospital and set up on a vampire machine and die a horrific death. That's accepted in society. You know, if you die in the hospital, it's accepted. But if you go to sleep and you pass on a home front, all of a sudden, what did they do? What did they give them? What? Whoa, boy, I tell you. Man, what it have done with your mind. You have been used and abused. And most of you have no ambitions whatsoever at all to even change your present condition in life. So later on, because you choose to sit there in those cities and refuse to get back to the old paths and the old ways, when you end up with cancer and you die a horrific death and you look like some shriveled up raisin or prune that's been sitting out in the sun for the last 6 months, don't say that you was not warned by me. And then the only thing you're going to have left is your sorry feelings and emotions. That's all you're going to do is just feel sorry. That's it. Just feel sorry. Because you refuse to make the necessary changes because, after all, they were too inconvenient for you. You people can't convince me that you care about your families, and especially the little children. You can't convince me that you do when you refuse to change. Well, we don't have to do what you tell us to do. No, you don't. So keep on suffering. Just keep on suffering. I know this. I'm one of the very few pastors in this country right here that has a congregation of about 70-something people. That's just locally. Not one of us are on any prescription drugs. Can yours say that? Can your preacher and teacher and your pastor, can they say that? Yeah, I make a boast in him. And I thank y'all for a right mind to be able to cope with all these things that are going on today. The latest study brought to light after all the dark years of denial that arsenic has been added to the chicken feed and that it actually ends up in the meat. We have to mention that both poultry industry and the FDA denied the fact. They admit it now. For 60 years, we have been fed with the fairy tale that arsenic is excreted in the chicken's feces. That was never backed up with a scientific evidence. It is just a vain story presented by the poultry industry, and we were supposed to believe it. It's all about that dollar, that bottom line. What people do for money. Now that the world knows this undeniable evidence, some manufacturers, including the manufacturer of the chicken feed product known as, let's see, that's a Roxxon, I guess, have decided to pull their products off the shelves. What is more interesting, the manufacturer that has been adding arsenic to the chicken feed for all this time is Pfizer. Wait a minute, is that the same company that makes Viagra that causes men to go blind? Oh, you get to get it up. Yes, you do. A few years later, though, you're going to pay for it because you're going to end up going blind. It's the very same company that produces vaccines containing chemical adjuvants that are later injected into chicken. Let me go to this. It says, continuing over to Article 2. I have to take my time with this because you need to know. I'll give you the link below if you want to read it for yourself. The company that produces the Roxxon chicken feed is actually a subsidiary of Pfizer and is called a Alpha Pharma LLC. Alpha Pharma now agreed to pull their products. They even got a typing error in this article, can you believe it? Off the shelves in the U.S. But it says that there is no need to necessarily remove it from the feed products in other countries unless the regulators say otherwise. Hey, I told y'all people, hey, in other words, if your government in the other countries don't agree that arsenic is something that will kill you, then we're going to leave it in your food supply. Scott Brown of Pfizer Animal Health Veterinary Medicine Research and Development Division said that the company also sells the ingredient in about a dozen other countries. He said Pfizer is reaching out to regulatory authorities in those countries and will decide whether to sell it on an individual basis. Even though the arsenic-containing products are pulled off the shelves, the FDA still denies these facts and claims that the chicken is safe to eat as the arsenic in the meat is at a low level. Okay, I know that the majority of Americans have become mind-numb, sports-drooling idiots that do not know right from wrong. But let's put this in something simple we can understand. You know what rat poison is, right? Suppose you go down here to your feed store, TSC, and you buy some Tomcat rat poison. And you just put a little bit in each meal, you know, the food, you know, just a little bit in each meal. Would that be all right by you? Would that be all right with everybody else? But no, America, but it is okay if your government does it to you and then lie. And then when it get caught, try to diminish the facts. To play on your subconscious. See, they know that you're not going to pay any attention. You're still going to go to KFC. You're not going to protest in any kind of way. You're still going to eat it. And because they've trained you in these public food systems very well, and this one-eyed monster on this TV say, hey, you believe everything. And it's amazing. When somebody comes in the spirit of truth like myself, then all of a sudden, it's amazing how that something switches on the inside of you and you make me the enemy, and I'm the one that's telling you the truth. Is that not amazing? Let's go on here because this video is getting longer than I expected here. All right, where we at? You know, it's just it's amazing also because just the other day I was on JM Bullion looking at Silver Eagle prices, and this just lets you know how they track everything you do, because every time you turn around you see an article popping up for something that you are interested in, and JM Bullion has an advertisement right here. It's amazing. It's utterly amazing. These folks are amazing. Upsell. Where'd I leave off at? I'll start right here, okay? Even though the arsenic-containing products are pulled off the shelves, the FDA still denies the facts and the claims that the chicken is safe to eat, as the arsenic in the meat is at low levels. It seems that there will be no changes regarding this subject, even though the FDA says that arsenic is a carcinogen, which means it can increase the risk of cancer. Told you, cancer is big business in this country. And there are plenty of cures. I mean, there are things you can do. You ever heard of apricot seeds? You probably can take some apricot seeds. Now, oh, and by the way, anything that I say to you will not prevent or cure any disease. Gotta put the disclaimer in there, because the Gestapo will come with guns blazing, knocking at your door and say, "You try to practice without a license." Whoa, what tyranny are we under, boy? You gotta love it, huh? You I tell you. Woo, help me recover from this one. Oh, boy. Woo. Even the National Chicken Council agrees with the FDA. Hell yeah, they're going to agree with them, because they don't want their bottom line. Let me tell you something. Buy chickens if you can. If you can learn how to hatch them and raise your own chickens. Even just let them free range or whatever and stuff. But you still got to kill all the predators in your area. But if you live in the city, you can sit there and be guaranteed you're going to get cancer. Just go ahead and do it. I tell you. Even the National Chicken Council agrees with the FDA in a statement that came out as a response with a decision that this company must be pulled from the shelves, or this Roxanne, whatever it is, this feed. It said chicken, notice this is double talk. They telling you they agree, but they also are telling you they ain't nothing gonna change. Talking about play on words. Get this. Read, comprehend. They're telling you they agree, but they also telling you that they're not going to change nothing. How many fools you going to continue to keep being? Anyway, it must be pulled from the shelves. It says that chicken is safe to eat, despite the fact that they admitted that the chemical was added to the chicken feed, and the meat was later sold throughout the United States. I wonder if we all have a lawsuit. You know, all 360 million of us who consume chicken and stuff. You know, well, I'll tell you what, probably for a long time here at Straightway, we haven't been eating that kind of chicken, because we've actually been raising our own chicken, which you can go back and look at our chicken butchering videos. You know, we're not doing this to say, look at me, look at me. We're trying to put some inspiration in you, put a defibrillator on your ass, get you to moving. I figure in life, you got to love people more than they hate themselves. And you know, the Apostle Saul made a very interesting statement over in Galatians 4:16. He said, have I become your enemy because I tell you the truth? You watch and see how many people start tap dancing around and stuff trying to justify all this. Now, I'll tell you what, go ahead and get cancer, live a miserable life, and then croak and die. That's what you do. Curl up your toes and die, because that's exactly what you're going to do. It's amazing. That the chemical was added to the chicken feed, and the meat was later sold throughout the United States. Yes, we are still shocked that the FDA tells the consumers it is safe to eat arsenic-loaded chicken, but it is dangerous to drink elderberry juice. Up, man, you can't make it. You know, I know what it is. You see, because I don't have a TV signal in my house, therefore I don't have all these signals coming in my mind to control my mind. Because, you know, when certain thoughts or advertisements are presented to you, they know that your mind is going to go and think a certain way. After all, you went to their schools, you watched their TV programs. It's all that. It's like George Orwell 1984, just in a softer form. And I guess because I'm outside the scope of their influence, that they're not going to have all this influence on me. And I'm a free thinker. And I use critical thinking. I'll tell you one thing, it's helped to keep myself and a lot of people healthy and safe. That's for sure. Oh boy, this is off the chain. Let me read that again. Yes, we are still shocked that the FDA tells the consumer it is safe to eat arsenic-loaded chicken, but it is dangerous to drink elderberry juice. The FDA recently accused an elderberry juice manufacturer of the crime of selling unapproved drugs. Elderberry, now isn't that amazing? Herbs, natural herbs, which is the herb of the field for the service of man, according to the scriptures, is now a drug. Well, what the hell is this damn arsenic? And conducted an armed raid. You know, there's like these people who all their lives have been raising cattle, especially milk cows, organic goat milk, and then they've been selling it, you know, off their farm. You know, people have been doing this for hundreds of years. Then the government comes in with semi-automatic weapons, military garb on, I mean the whole 9 yards, boy. Now, you think that they was after cows on down in Mexico, or Juarez, who traffic it at least, you know, who knows how many pounds, let's say over 100 million pounds of cocaine a year. You'd think that these poor farmers was worse than that. And what has happened to us as a country to where now they're going in and raiding people just by going and picking up an elderberry in the woods? And we allow this type of behavior in this country. What a sick country we are. And you telling me you proud to be an American? What kind of American are you proud to be? And then armed raid against somebody who's producing elderberry juice. You know what you need to do? You need to start being suspect of anything that says FDA approved. Or maybe even the stuff that says American Heart Association. We look for those things in the label, but these are not trusted sources. The greatest trusted source that there is the natural farmer, your neighbor, who you can know what he put in it, or the stuff you can only grow yourself, because these boogers have got the system on lockdown. They're not going to tell you the truth. It's not in their best interest, because I tell you, being sick is big business. And you do not make a lot of money in these companies by keeping people healthy. And then even the organic trade. It's amazing how I think it was Trader Joe's or Home Foods, one of the two. I think it was Home Foods. How they charge you exorbitant amount of prices for what you were thinking to be organic, and you're thinking to be all natural and all this old other stuff. And then they got caught too, and most of you still just run on down there. Run on down there. I tell you, it's amazing. And what kind of drug would that be? Elderberry juice, explained the agency. As you can see, the elderberry juice is considered as a drug at the very moment you tell people how helpful it can be to improve your overall health. The FDA has also attacked dozens of other manufacturers that sell natural herbal products or nutritional products with a scientific backup that proves their ability to enhance and support health. The agency goes that far to say that even raw milk, see, I didn't even get that note, is dangerous. In other words, America has a Food and Drug Regulatory Agency that approves the consumption of arsenic, but says it's dangerous to drink elderberry juice or raw milk. They're playing you as fools. And the truth is, some of you are going to continue to stay fools. A fool and his money is soon parted. And I tell you, you're not going to live no quality of life. No, literally you're not. You're not going to live no quality of life. And you're not going to have any health. And you're not going to be in optimum health if you continue to keep doing the same things you have always done. It's just, and expect change, it's not going to happen. No, you're going to have to repent. And I know to many of you, it's a cuss word. And of course, repenting means, yeah, you confess that you've been wrong, but you change your mind. You have to become an investigated reporter. You have to determine what is good for you. Now, don't get me wrong. Eating this arsenic-induced chicken, it may be for you. It may be good, but who am I to tell you? After all, I'm just a presenter of information at the end of the day. But for me, I don't think it's good for me, and I don't think it's good for the people I care for, and so I'm going to shout to the rooftop. I mean, after all, they can pick and choose if they want to believe it or not, but, I mean, think about this. I mean, hey, arsenic may be the thing for you. I mean, hey, you may love your arsenic drug-induced chicken. I would say eat up and be happy, because after all, that's what life is about. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And it make you happy to go out to the drugstore and eat this arsenic-induced chicken that later on is going to guarantee that you get cancer. Have at it. Maybe for you. Hey, who am I to tell you what to do? But as for me and my house, we're going to serve Yahweh.